Hello and welcome back to My Own Worst Enemy. It's time to start turn number 3 of the U.S. Civil War from GMT Games. And we will jump right into this, starting off with the Union reinforcement segment. So if you remember, the Union is going to get 6 strength points in the east, 3 strength points in Ohio, Indiana, 3 in Illinois, and 2 strength points in St. Louis. Let's go ahead and do that, and we will keep in mind that the strength points, they have to be placed in Union-controlled objective hexes in the north that are in full supply. And if there's any CSA zones of influence, that they will not matter here, as they do not extend into a Union-controlled objective hex. So let's see where we want these eastern strength points to go first. And I think right off, I'm going to want to put 4 into Baltimore. And I think we still have, was it 5 in Washington, D.C.? Let's take a look here. Yeah, we still have 5 in Washington, D.C. Now we have 4 in Baltimore, so a lot of units are stacking up there. And then, let's see, I've got 2 more I can place, and I think I'm going to put these with, who is this in here? I can't see anymore because I've had cataract surgery on one eye, and now everything is kind of dual vision. I got 1 good eye and 1 bad eye. So this is Patterson, and he has 3. So I'm going to put 2 in here with Patterson. He now has 5, and he can do that because that is an objective hex in supply in a northern, was that a northern state? I guess I can't do that, can I? Because that's, that hex is half blue and half, well, I know Harper's Ferry is in West Virginia, so what is that considered? I mean, and the Union has now control of West Virginia. I tell you what I'm going to do, because again, strategic movement is coming up and it's not that big a deal. I'm just going to put these 2, we're going to put into, we'll put them in Annapolis here. We know that's a valid hex to put those in. We can move those over to Harper's Ferry if we want to. Interesting question, though. I think I did that right. I don't think they can go into Harper's Ferry. I don't know. I mean, there's still Confederate control up here, but let me know in the comments below if those could have gone into Harper's Ferry in West Virginia there. But we're going to keep moving along here. So let's see. 3 strength points can go into Ohio or Indiana. So I'm going to let me grab some more strength point markers here. I am going to put, let's see, we have, who is this? Hollick sitting up here in Zanesville with 4 strength points. He is going to get 2 more. We're going to put 2 into Zanesville. And then 1 I'm just going to put up here in Cincinnati. Actually, no, you know what we're going to do? We're going to put it in New Albany here. That'll give them 3 in that city, and now we can put 3 in Illinois. So 3 in Illinois. We have currently 4 here sitting for Fremont, or sitting with Fremont, I should say. Do we want to give him any more? We might want to put these here in Cairo. There's 2 in a fort. There's no general down there, but we do have some generals coming in this turn. And the reason being is we know the Confederates are going to make a move into Kentucky this turn, it being turn 3. At least I'm pretty sure that's what they're going to do. Who is that up there? Fremont with 4. So 3 strength points. We're going to put those into, well, again, this being early in the game, we know we have some more generals coming in, I believe. Let's just put these into Centralia here. We're going to put 3 in there. All 3 of the ones that are slated to go in Illinois are going to go in there. With strategic move coming up and more generals coming in, we can shuffle those around as needed. And then finally, we get 2 strength points in St. Louis. So that's up here with Fremont, I said, right? And he already has 4, so he's now going to have 6. We're just going to swap out his 4 for a 6. And in Fremont with his 3-star general with his 0 attack rating. Good old Fremont. All right, so we're now going to, that's going to be it for strength points. And the next thing we can do for the Union is we can commence construction or the upgrade of a fort. And here we could probably just go ahead and bump up Washington to a size 3 fort. And I think we'll choose to do just that. We're going to put an under construction marker into Washington there to show that it's being upgraded to a level 3 fort. And I think I said they had 5 strength points in there. And actually, a level 3 fort with 5 strength points, I probably want to leave that put, maybe even for the remainder of the game, to keep Washington well defended against the Confederates if they manage to make a move on Washington, that is. But who knows if that's going to happen or not. Okay, so moving right along, the next thing we get is we get 1 special action card for the Unions. This is still the 3rd turn, 1861, so we only get 1 of these cards, not 2. We're going to flip this over, and we've got an east, a west, and a trans-Mississippi now for the Union. And I believe that will do it for Union reinforcements. Now we're going to go into Confederate reinforcements, and the first thing we do there is upgrade a resource hex. So if you remember, we are going to place an arsenal here. It is going to be randomly done though. If you remember that chart we looked at, there was the random states chart. Let's grab the dice tower. We'll put it there's a good spot, and we're going to roll, let me grab 2d6 here because that's going to determine what state this arsenal will go in. We roll a 5, and a 5 is South Carolina. So where do we want to place our arsenal in South Carolina? Columbia there is at 2. I'm looking at the point 3 down here in Charleston. But maybe we don't want to put them all in one place. Maybe we want to scatter them. I don't know. Let's put this in Florence. We're going to build an arsenal in Florence, and then that's going to move our arsenal counter up by 1. So let's move that from 2. It is now at 3. So let's calculate how many strength points now the Confederates will receive. We will start off, of course, with the number of resource objective hexes that the Confederates now hold, and they've lost 1. So they lost 1 last turn, so now they are down to 96. So they'll get 96 for that. They have 3 arsenals now, so they're going to get 3 for that. They still have an objective hex up here in Missouri, so that's going to give them 3 more, and now we got to do the blockade running. So we'll grab our dice tower again. We'll put it this way this time. Why not? It'll be different. And so the blockade runners, we will start, and remember we are rolling on the table on the player's aid card that will tell us how many build points we'll get from blockade running. So we'll start with the North Atlantic, which is sitting at 5. I'm going to grab a d6. We'll roll our d6. We roll a 2. A 2 plus 5 is going to give us 7. It's 1861, so that's going to be a 10. So that's going to be 10 build points. Now the South Atlantic is sitting at 7. And plus 3 is 10, so that's also going to be 10 build points. And then finally we have the Gulf sitting at 8. 8 plus 2 is 10, and again that's going to give them 10 build points. Okay, so let's get this out of the way. So we add all that up, that comes up to 132 build points. There's still no maintenance yet, and we divide 132 by 10. That gives us 13 build points for the Confederates. So one of those strength points has to go into the Trans-Mississippi, and I think the smartest place to put that is Fayetteville, so we'll put them in there. Now the other 12 strength points are going to get divided between the East and the West. There are some restrictions on where you can place your Confederate reinforcements, and I kind of think I said there wasn't really that I could see any in this rule book, and that's because I was looking for a heading that said placement restrictions like it has for the Union, but it just has placement of Confederate reinforcements for the Confederates. And that's where your reminder that you distribute them evenly, and then no more than 2 strength points can be placed in each state. And then on top of that, the strength point has to be placed in a friendly controlled resource hex in full supply. So that should be fairly easy to do this early in the game anyway. Let's start. We're going to put 2 in Virginia. I'm just going to put those into Richmond. And then I'm going to put 2 more into, let's put them in North Carolina. We'll just put them up here as far north as we can. And then we'll put 2 more into Florence, South Carolina, where we just had that arsenal placed. Now in the West, we're definitely going to want to put some of these in Tennessee. Oh, let's see. We currently have, there's a fort there with 4. 3-star general. We have there's 5 in, there's 2 generals in there, 5. So let's just put these 2 with Johnston here. So he's going to have 6 now. And then we will put 2 in Decatur. And we will put 2 in Holly Springs. And I believe that accounts for all 13 of the Confederate build points. So we will now give them, they get to draw a special action card, only 1 because we're still in 1861. They've got a Trans-Mississippi, an East, and an Any now. And I believe that will do it for Confederate reinforcements. So the next thing in the sequence of play then would be to return displaced units and place militia. Don't believe we have any changes from last time. We did have a militia unit come out of West Virginia and go back to the holding box, but I don't believe that can come back in. So we will move to the next thing in the sequence of play, and that's going to be strategic movements, starting with the Union. And I'm going to go ahead and grab our railroad counter here. We have 12 we can move by rail for the Union. And I think it was river we could move, I think it was 3, ocean 3, and then I think a road movement we could do 1 per theater. So let's go ahead and do rail first, because that's probably the easiest thing to do. And I do want to move the ones that were sitting in Annapolis by rail to Harper's Ferry here with Patterson. So he now has 5 total in Harper's Ferry. So that's 2. That'll take us down to 10. I think I'm going to move 1 out of Baltimore here. We've got 4. And if I do want to do an amphibious assault, I can only take 3. So let's move 1 out of Baltimore. And you know what? I think I'm just going to move him into Harper's Ferry too, that 1 strength point. We'll try to get the Confederates out of there if we can. So let's take this down to 3, and then that'll take Patterson up to 6. Let me get a 6 marker here for Patterson. Patterson now has 6 in Harper's Ferry. That'll take us down to 9 on our strategic move for rail. Looking over here in Illinois, we still have the 3 I put here, and we have Fremont with his 6. I need to get Fremont moving south. And then there's a fort, like I said, sitting here in Cairo. That is in Illinois. It is an objective hex, so we could, let's see, maybe we just want to move all those down there. I was going to split those up. Pollock is sitting here with 2. Maybe we want to, well, he's got 6, so he doesn't have 2. He's got 6. Let's bring all 3 of these down to Cairo. So that's going to take us down to 6. No, wait a minute. Let's move that back just for a second here, because we still have 5 here under Curtis, as we struggle to take Springfield over here. We only have 2 under Price. Yeah, here's what we're going to do then. Let's send 2 down to Cairo. We'll send 2 down to Cairo, and then I'm going to just send 1 to Rolla over here, just in case. Try to get him to Curtis. And I think that's all I'm going to do for strategic rail for the Union and ocean movement. I don't think I'm going to do any ocean movement. I don't think I'm going to do any other movement at all, really. But we will do road movement here. And so road movement was going to let us move 1 strength point an unlimited distance in each theater. So that would get this 1 strength point down to Curtis. Let's do that. I'll bring him up to 6. Is that a 6 marker in there? It is. So Curtis now has 6 sitting outside Springfield. And then we've got some stragglers up here. There's 3 there, but I think I'm going to leave those sitting there. I think we probably want to put a general there if we can. And who's up there? We have this one sitting up in, let's bring him to Cincinnati for now. Yeah, that's it. That's all the strategic movement I'm going to do for the Union. So we will go into strategic movement for the Confederates. I'll grab our railroad wheel. They get to move 7 by strategic rail. They'll get to move 1 by river, and then they'll get the strategic road movement per theater. Let's take a quick look over here first. And Manassas Junction here. We had Stewart, Beauregard with 3. And they're getting really, let me grab my tweezers here because it's getting really hard to grab these counters. McDowell had 3. That's all he has. So we probably want to reinforce Beauregard here with his 3. With Stewart, he has 4. So let's move 2 from Richmond up to Beauregard. That'll take us down to 5. And then I really want to move these strength points in Mississippi and Alabama. We want to get those into Tennessee for our attack that we're going to do on Kentucky up there. So let's move these two in Decatur. We'll join Johnston here. So he's got 2, 4. And now he's going to have, let's say that's 6. So he's going to have 8. And then these two in Holly Springs will come up here and join. I think there were 2 generals here. And so that'll give them 7. So that was 4. We could still move 1 strength point by rail, and we probably want to do that. And we'll just bring 1 of these out of South. Actually, you know what? Let's get the one out of Florence. We'll take 1 out of Florence. We'll move by rail up to Richmond, so that'll give them 2 again. And that will be it for rail movement for the Confederates. And now let's see, is there any river movement we want to move here? I don't think so, not at this point. And then we have road movement, and then of course we do want to move probably this 1 strength point in Fayetteville. We can get that up to Price. Let's see, that'll give him 3. And in the west, I don't think we want to move anybody. And in the east, we could move 1 by road. Let's move 1 out of, what is that, Weldon? That'll go down to 1, and then this 1 will go up to a 2 in Norfolk. And that will do it for strategic movement for the Confederates. And so the next thing on the sequence of play is the leader management phase. So we have leaders coming in and leaving and being promoted and doing all sorts of things and transferring. I got to remember they can transfer. So let's start over here with the Union. We have, scatter these out, Pope, Stoneman, and Buell. Never move my turn marker up to 3. Let's do that now too while we're down here. So we'll start with Buell here. So Buell says he is going into the west. He's a 3-star general. He's a 113. Into the west goes Buell, and I'm just going to put him in Cairo. We need a general in Cairo. And who else do we have? We have Pope. He's a 104, and he's also going to go into the west. We're just going to put him up here. And then we have Stoneman is cavalry 006, and he's going into the east. And we're just going to put, let's see, where do we want to put this dude? We could put him, what I do? I left Burnside outside of, put Burnside back in the stack that he's supposed to be in. So I think I'm going to put Stoneman in DC for now. I'm not quite sure where to put him yet, just to get him out there. So that's the Union leaders that are coming into play. And now we will do the Confederates. Let's see, Braxton Bragg looks like he's coming in. Who else? Van Dorn and Kirby Smith. So we will start with Kirby Smith. Kirby Smith is going into the west. So where do we want Kirby Smith to go? Let's see, somebody else is going into the west. Bragg is coming into the west. I could split these up. We're running out of places to put our generals as the Confederates. I don't have to place them. I could put them in the holding box. We could put him over here with Johnston, who had 4, 6. Yeah, let's put him with Johnston. So we'll put him under to show that Johnston is the commanding general there. And then we have Braxton Bragg. Braxton Bragg. Where are we going to put Braxton Bragg? He is going into the west. And then Van Dorn's going to go into the Trans-Mississippi. I could put Braxton Bragg in Pensacola just to get him out. I could also put him in the displaced box for this theater just to put him into holding. And you know what? I'm going to do that. I'm going to put Bragg in. So he's supposed to come into the west. So we're going to hold him back. We'll put him over here. He'll come out in the that return phase in the next turn. And then we have Van Dorn, who we do want to come out. And I think the only place he could go is into Springfield. Ain't a whole lot to command up there either, though. And I'm tempted to put him in the holding box as well. We're getting stacked up with Confederate generals here, so that's kind of annoying. So let's put him, we'll put him in the holding box for now. I'm not ready to place him yet. And then we have this cavalry leader. This is Morgan, who's also going to go into the west. And I'm going to put him in the holding box too. He's going to go in the west. And some of you are probably screaming, but I just, as the Confederates here, I don't have a lot of forces, and I don't really, they're all coming into the same theaters, and I've got a stack here of generals that I already having a hard time placing, so I don't think it's a huge deal. I need to get more forces for the Confederates. How many times did the Confederates say that during the Civil War? So yeah, I'm going to put those in holding, and then we will move right along. So that is going to take us into the action cycle. So here we go. And we'll not zoom in. Let's go ahead and just do this on the big board here. We now know how this works. So I'm going to grab my dice. So let's roll to see who will have the initiative in this first action phase, and how many actions they'll get to take in the theaters. That looks like a difference of 2, and the Confederates will have the initiative. So we will flip this to Confederate initiative, and the difference is 2. Let's get this out of the way. So the Confederates, with their 2 action points, the thing I'm looking at first is maybe they want to use both of those to go into Kentucky and get that over with. Could also do something up here with Beauregard and even near Harper's Ferry. But I think, yeah, let's just go ahead and invade Kentucky with both of those action points. Let's see what's going on here. Nashville, kind of sort this out. There was a fort in Nashville, so let's put that back down. We have Johnston and Smith there. We want Johnston to move forward. And so there's 8 strength points there. We could just move everybody forward. That might be the better thing to do in this case. So yeah, we're going to move everybody in Nashville into Bowling Green. So let's do that. Everybody moves forward into Bowling Green. And then let's go ahead and get these arrows out of the way. We will no longer need those. Down here, Columbus, we're going to move. Who do we have? Union City. So we have Hardee and Polk with a grand total of 7. And Polk he's a 2-star, Hardee's a 1. Let's move all those into Columbus. So we've just marched into Kentucky. That's our 2 action points spent for the Confederates. And then we will now flip our control. Well, we won't flip it. Yeah, we will. We'll show it. It's the Union turn now. So the Union gets 2 action points to spend. And of course, now Kentucky has joined the Union. Let's see if we want to respond here to this movement into Kentucky with Buell, who has 4 strength points. We had Halleck up here. He has 6. Pope has 3, so that's a heck of a lot there for Pope. Still have what is that? Curtis has 6. Yeah, so what does he have now? Price only has 3, but he is entrenched. And over here, we still have McClellan running around up here with 5 and 6. So could Buell go back down to Columbus and try to threaten it since it just switched hands? So let's see, is there a bridge there? I don't think so. So I think they're going to have to spend an extra movement point to get across that river. And he can only move 3 with his 4 strength points. So it would be 1, 2, 3. So he couldn't quite even get to Columbus there. And he is seriously outnumbered. And then, is there a bridge up here? It doesn't look like it. 6. And again, looks like there's 8 there. It's quite a stack now in Kentucky. He would be seriously outnumbered there. Maybe we want to join forces with Pope. He can move 4. Maybe we want to join those forces. I'm going to bring, don't want to bring Buell across. That would open up Cairo to Confederate attack. Not really much up there that they could attack it, though. I guess they could run in and grab it. There is reactionary movement to consider if they do that. not forget about Fremont is sitting up there with 6. We may want to start bringing him down to Kentucky. So, I don't know. I think we're going to move. Let's march Pope in his 4, did I say? Pope can move 4. There's no bridge there going into Louisville. Could go 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, let's bring him down here. That's 1 action point spent. Just bring Hollick across into here. So let's just do that for our first action phase. We'll just kind of respond to the Confederates there, and that'll be our 2 action points. And actually, though, we do have cards we could spend. Could spend a card. Could attack over here. We have Curtis with his 6. We have an entrenched Price with his, I think he had 3. So let's try to go into Springfield yet again. We're going to spend a Trans-Mississippi card to take another action. Discard that. And we're going to have Curtis is going to attack Price again. So let's go ahead and zoom in for this one. Now we'll go ahead and spread these counters out so you can see what's going on. Not a lot to spread out for the Union there. We have Price, only has 3, I believe. And he is entrenched. And let's see, so we have Curtis there, has 6 strength points. That'll put him on the 6th column. And I just realized I burned my Trans-Mississippi card to do this attack, and now I can't use it for the +2 DRM. That might not have been a good idea. I forgot about that. Let's go ahead and go anyway. So he's going to get a +1 to the roll for Curtis's attack rating, and then Price is entrenched. He'll get a +2. He'll get +1 for his rating, but he's only got 3 strength points. He'll be on the 3 column. Let's get the dice tower in here where we can see it. All right, and now we'll grab the D6s here, and we will have the Union attack again. Here we go. Oh boy, so that is a 4 + 3, 7 for the Confederates, and then a 2 for the Union. Good Lord. Let's get this out of the way. I should have waited to do that attack to get my +2, although it wouldn't have helped a whole lot here. Okay, so that means the Confederates will win. So well, I think it means, let's double check it. So 7 for the Confederates on the 3 column is a 1 with an asterisk, but the asterisk is for tiebreakers. And then on the 6 column, the Union rolled 2. So it is 1 strength point loss for each side, but the Union loses again. So the Union will go down to 5. They are kept outside of Springfield. And then Price gets another strength point taken away, but he gets to stay inside Springfield. And we got to put a demoralized marker on Curtis, because he lost that battle. So not good for the Union there at all. Let's go ahead and zoom back out. So that was our 2 action points, and we spent a special action card to do that attack over here in Missouri. So that takes us into the 2nd action cycle. Let's put our counter up there. So we don't know who has the initiative yet. We don't know what the differential is yet. Let's go ahead and grab the dice tower. And we will roll to see who has the initiative. That is a 6 and a 2, a difference of 4. So the difference of 4, the Confederates will have the initiative here in this 2nd phase. So we'll put that on the Confederate side. The difference of 4 means we have another on to Richmond event for the Union to deal with. But first we start with the Confederates with their 4, and I'm going to grab the D6 here to keep track of they have 4 action points they can spend here. And I'm going to spend 1 of those right off the bat to start construction of a fort in Vicksburg. And which reminds me, that was the end of the first action phase there, so the Washington, D.C. upgrade to their level 3 fort is complete now. Washington now has a level 3 fort with 5 strength points. They're pretty well defended. They've even got a cavalry leader in there. The 3 action points remaining. Do we want to do anything up here? Probably just want to, might want to entrench. That's what I was thinking in Bowling Green. Let's do that. So we're going to spend an action point to entrench in Bowling Green. And then we might want to do the same thing over here, Columbus. Let's entrench there. So now we're down to 1. Action points go fast. Doesn't seem like it, but they do. One action point left, and I'm really tempted to go punch Curtis in the nose with Price, but do I want to do that? He's only got 2 strength points left. Don't know how much longer the Confederates are going to be able to hold on to Springfield, but they're doing a pretty good job right now, actually. But we do still have Fremont up here who can come marching down at any moment. So I think I'm going to leave him stay put. So 1 action point left. We've got, who is this up here? Was that Stewart? No, that's Longstreet and Stanton. Still have a guy entrenched up here, yeah. And then we still have the mess going on in Manassas Junction. Take a look at this again. So 3, 5 plus Stewart's there with 1. Really hard to grab these counters. I don't know why I'm not using my tweezers. This is one place where tweezers are necessary, I'm afraid. Oh, let's just grab the whole mess here. All right, so let's do Washington again. So we entrenched in Alexandria. I guess we're still entrenched. They were entrenched before, so McDowell and Burnside are in there. 6 strength points total. I don't think we want to attack them being entrenched. 5 under Beauregard. Maybe we want to bring down these units from Strasburg or outside of Strasburg. They're entrenched with 4. I guess we need to decide what we want to do here with these units outside of Strasburg. Do we want to try to take Harper's Ferry with its 6, or do we just give that up and come on down back down to Manassas and maybe try to go back into there? So McDowell is slowly working his way back into the Eastern Theater, so that's something to consider with Johnson. We may want to pull him back. Maybe we do want to send him to Manassas Junction and resort what's going on there. That would open up Strasburg to certain attack. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to move. He's going to move back into Strasburg with his 4 strength points. So that entrenchment's going to go away. And he's just going to move back into Strasburg. And so that's going to kill that action point. So now it is the Union's turn. Let's reset this. The Union will get 4. Before I do that, though, does the Confederates want to use any of these other cards? I think I want to save those for battle, honestly. Yeah, let's do that. And actually, they shouldn't have 3 because I did build a fort in Vicksburg. So Vicksburg is on the eastern side of the Mississippi, so I think that's considered the Western Theater. So I guess we're going to have to burn the any card. So that any card would have been used to start construction of this fort, and that was the Confederates. Yeah, so they have 2 in their hand. The Union has 2 in their hand. So now we go to the Union. We need to decide what to do with Fremont and his army, so we may want to march down to Springfield. Seems like overkill at this point, but I'm having a hell of a time knocking Price out of Springfield. He's down to 2, right? We're chipping away at him, so eventually it's going to fall just from attrition, if nothing else. And I feel like these 6 strength points are probably better served by coming over here to Kentucky, because that is 3 build points per city they hold there, or objective hex they hold. So we're going to move. Yeah, you know what we're going to do? We're going to move Fremont. It's going to go, he's only a 3 movement though, so he could go 1, 2. He can't cross that if he does that though. He could go 1, 2, 3. Let's move him back to Centralia. So that's one action point. And then we'll bring him towards Kentucky. Now in Kentucky, we have Buell here with 6. There's 8 in there. Need to combine those armies, and maybe we want to march at a river there with no bridge again. So he can only move 3. So he could go 1, 2, 3 to try to join up with Pope. And then he's only got 4 in that fort, so I don't really want to move him out of there either. Oh, let's activate McDowell here. And he can move 3, so we can move 1 into, get rid of this control marker. So that's 1, 2 to move him there. So the 2 is because he removed the control marker. And I'm going to stop him there. Now let's see. I did have the Confederates abandon Winchester. We could move into Winchester. But that would open up that objective hex. So we'll just wait. We'll have McDowell maybe come down, or McClellan come down and take Winchester. We still have these 3 in Baltimore. I wished I had a general there. I don't really need a general there, I guess, to do an amphibious assault, but it would be nice to have a general there. Strength points sitting up here in Cincinnati. We could bring down 2, 3, get him to Lexington maybe. Yeah, let's spend an action point and we'll just move this guy. 1, 2, 3. Down to 2 now. What I think I'm going to do now is spend an action point to take these units from Baltimore. We're going to do a naval move and amphibious assault. I guess it really would be technically, but I think I'm going to bring it down here to Ship Island. And I think this is a legal move. So we spend the action point. 3 strength points can move into Ship Island. There's no Confederate forces there. It's not a fort, so I think we just move in there, and that is going to, what is that going to do? That's actually going to drop the Gulf blockade, I think, down by 1, if I'm not mistaken. So I think this comes down to 7 now, because there's a +1 there for Ship Island. That's going to take us down to 1 action point remaining, and I don't know what to do with this. So I'm just going to bring the Union training up to 1. So that is going to be the 4 action points for the Union, and I think we're ready to go into the 3rd action phase now. So let's get the dice tower back out, and we'll get this reset. We'll get our 2d6, and we'll see what happens in the 3rd action phase here. Roll our dice, and it is, so wait a second here. Before I do that, let's hold on here, and we'll say that dice roll didn't happen. And I'm holding on here because the last turn we had a on to Richmond event, which I did not do. Let's see. So hold on here. Let's move this training back to its 0. We may want to use that action point to do something in Virginia to avoid the penalties. The only places in Virginia to attack, of course, we have Manassas Junction up here, but I don't really think I want to do that yet. He's out of here again. I'm trying to, I think by now I'd memorize what's in this stack. So they're entrenched for one thing. You've got 2 generals, and they only have 3 strength points there between them. Actually, no, I take that back. They have 6 total, but they are entrenched. And then in here, well, Beauregard has 3, Stuart has 1, so I guess we could attack. And they're not entrenched. Why are they not entrenched? That was kind of stupid. So the fact they're not entrenched, maybe we do want to do this. Let's go ahead and attack Manassas Junction again. So let's zoom in there. I'll go ahead and spread these out again. We can leave Burnside in there with the 6. I'd only be able to take 5 because I need to leave 1 behind with a McDowell there. So we would be taking 5 into battle. Well, okay, let's show that. We're going to leave 1 behind with McDowell. Then Burnside is going to march in with 5. All right, so in Manassas Junction, we have Beauregard's a 2-star, so he can defend with all of these units. There's 6 in there for Beauregard. Stewart's there as well, although I don't think he gets to add his rating to this. Split these all apart again. Let's see if we can get the dice tower into this shot without ruining the board. All right, so we have Burnside's going in with 5, +1 for his attack rating. Beauregard's going to defend he's got 6 strength points in the 6th column. He's got 1, so he gets a +1 for his defense rating. Now, as the Union here, I am going to burn this Eastern Theater card, so we're going to get a +2 to the roll because we need it. All right, so here we go, the Battle of Manassas yet again. We have the Burnside is on the 5 column with a +3, and then Beauregard is on the 6th column with +1. So let's go ahead and roll and see what we get. Let's roll the Union die fell out. So, oh my God, so 6 and 1. So let's see. So Burnside was on the 6th column, and he gets, what did I say? 6 + 1, so 7. That's a 2 strength point loss for Burnside. And then Burnside was on the 5 column. He rolled a 1 with his +3. That's a 4, so that's a 1 step loss for Beauregard. On to Richmond and B. So let's get this dice tower out of the way. Get this card out of the way. That's been spent. We are going to now take this 5 is going to go down to 4. So Burnside is down to 4. He has to retreat 2, but he only has to go 1 because of the fortifications that McDowell is sitting in. And he'll get a demoralized marker, which won't last very long, honestly. So let's see. So now we lost. What am I doing here? No. Let's think about this for one more second. He lost 2. He was at 5, he should be down to 3. So Burnside goes down to 3 with that demoralized marker. And then we're going to take 1 step loss from Beauregard, so he's now at 4. And Stewart still has his 1 with him. I got lucky there. They should have been entrenched. I got to remember to do that. If I'm going to leave him there. So Beauregard has 4. We still have Stewart in there with 1. So the Confederates are holding on to Manassas Junction there. Let's go ahead and zoom back out. So that satisfies the on to Richmond, although they would have been better off there taking the penalty, I believe, than attacking. That's probably something to consider, actually, if you're playing this game. Maybe in a case like that, it would have been better just to have taken the penalty for not attacking. I wasn't ready to. I didn't think I was ready to, and I really wasn't. All right, so moving right along, now we go back into we're going into the 3rd action phase of this action cycle. So let's get the 2 dice out, and we'll roll to see what happens here. So who's going to have the initiative? How many actions are we going to have? So that is a 5 and a 2. So that's a difference of 3. And we're going to put the difference of 3, and then the Union will get to have the initiative here. Okay, so 3 actions to spend for the Union. Let's put down the dice to show that we have 3 actions we can spend. First thing I'm going to do is spend 1 of these to remove this demoralized marker. I think that's probably an important thing to do right now. In case Beauregard feels froggy there. And I'm going to spend another action point to bring Fremont down. I'll only move 3, so he's going to go 1, 2, 3. And then 1 more action point to spend. I'm going to spend it removing this other demoralized marker in case Price feels froggy. That's gonna do it for the 3 action points the Union had to spend. They do have a West card. Do they want to use the West card? Let's look at that first. I don't think so. Well, wait a minute. We've got. Thinking, do we want to join those 2 armies? I really don't. Not yet. No. All right. So that's going to do it. And now we're going to go to the Confederates. They're going to have 3 action points they can spend. And you know what? The first thing they're going to do is spend an action point, and they're going to entrench. They're going to entrench Beauregard. because he probably should have been entrenched to begin with. Now we've got 2 more to spend. I'm going to spend one of those to move by rail. This unit's going to come up to Richmond. And then 1 action point left. And let me look at Richmond. What is their fort like? I think it's level 2. So I think what we're going to do is spend an east card and upgrade that fort. So we're going to spend this east card and an action point to start the upgrade of this fort. We're going to put this on its under construction side. And that's, let's see, is that all they want to do? They've got a Trans-Mississippi card. I don't think they want to attack Curtis. I want to keep those entrenchments. They've only got 2 strength points anyway. So that's going to do it for the Confederates. And we're going, I guess I forgot to flip this fort in Vicksburg. So that's now, and that's a level 2. That should be a level 1. That is a, no wait, that is a level 1. What am I saying there? I'm looking at the blue 2 in the circle and calling it a level 2. So that is it for action points for the Confederates. And that is going to take us into the end phase. And actually, wasn't there a fort that was in Washington that should have been upgraded? I think there was, under construction, or maybe you already upgraded it. I thought I went from a 2 to a 3. It is, okay, so we're good there. So we go into the end phase, the control segment's the first thing we look at, and I don't think anything needs to be flipped as far as control goes. Not that I can see. Then the next thing would be intern rally. We've rallied everyone, so I don't think there's anybody to rally. Then the last thing we would do is check for automatic victory, but we're not even close to automatic victory yet. And so that is going to end turn number 3. So a very slow and timid start to the Civil War here in 1861. So Manassas Junction is still held by the Confederates at the end of 1861. We do have a winter turn coming up. The winter will start 1862, and it will be our first winter turn, so that'll be interesting to see. We have Springfield over here, which is slowly being whittled away by Curtis. Kentucky has fallen to the Confederates have marched into Kentucky, I should say, and Kentucky is now part of the Union. So I believe what that means is all these cities that are in white here are actually Union controlled, unless the Confederates march somebody into those. So when we come back, yes, we will start turn number 4. And if I've made any mistakes, or if you have any comments about strategy overall, or something you'd like to see the Union or the Confederacy attempt, let me know in the comments down below. I'll take that into consideration. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you have not. Consider becoming a patron. That always is appreciated. That certainly helps the channel more than just about anything. As always, thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing you back here next time.